Ever get that like weird feeling when you look in a mirror?
Yeah, like something's not quite right.
More than just a bad hair day, like something is off.
Definitely almost like primal, you know?
Exactly. And that's what we're going to dive into today.
Yeah.
Mirrors. But, like, not just reflections, we're going deep into all the strange beliefs and stories, like the spooky side of mirrors.
Oh, we're going way back in time, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like ancient Rome, when people thought mirrors held pieces of your soul.
Whoa.
And we're going all the way to modern paranormal investigations. It's crazy how, like, people are still trying to figure out if mirrors are more than just something to check your lipstick in, you know?
More than meets the eye, right?
Right.
So for this deep dive, we've got a ton of fascinating stories, historical records, even modern-day encounters with mirrors that seem to be, well, kind of like gateways to something else.
It's pretty wild, the stuff we dug up. Get ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about looking glasses.
I'm ready to be spooked. So where do we start?
Let's start with how different cultures have seen mirrors over time. I mean, it's amazing how this simple thing, a mirror, has like created so many beliefs and superstitions.
Yeah, like why mirrors? What is it about?
Right. So let's talk about this whole soul connection. It's a pretty common thread, right?
Like cross cultures?
Yeah. Like the ancient Romans, right. They actually thought breaking a mirror broke a piece of your soul.
No way. Is that where the 7 years bad luck thing comes from?
Exactly. They thought it took like 7 years for your soul to heal.
I wonder, maybe those 7 years of bad luck weren't just superstition. You know, what if it's like psychological? Like you feel broken because you lost a part of yourself.
Interesting. And it's not just the Romans. Loads of cultures think mirrors mess with your soul somehow, usually in a bad way.
Like what kind of bad stuff?
Some believe they could like steal your soul completely. Others thought mirrors showed you how you were going to die, not just your reflection. And then there's the people who thought mirrors were like doors to other dimensions, blurring the lines between us and the spirit world and all that.
Whoa, okay. That's trippy. So have people like actually used mirrors to, get to those other dimensions?
Oh yeah, there are stories about people trying to talk to spirits or even like cross over into the spirit world using mirrors. There are even names for it, these practices. Catoptromancy and anoptromancy.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Right. But basically, they'd use mirrors to catch the moon's reflection and see the future.
Wow, that's still going on today, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It just goes to show how much mirrors fascinate us, Like there's something about them we can't quite figure out.
Totally. And sometimes those mysteries get, well, kind of scary, like haunted mirrors. We've all heard those stories. One of the most famous ones in America is about, what was it called? The Myrtles Plantation.
The Myrtles Plantation. Just hearing that name gives me chills. Yeah, it's a former plantation in Louisiana, built back in 1817. And it's got a seriously tragic past. This whole story revolves around Chloe, a slave who was treated horribly, and, well, her story is still haunting the plantation.
What exactly happened to Chloe?
Well, the stories say she was abused terribly, even had her ears cut off. I mean, it was awful. So she poisoned a birthday cake meant for the plantation owner's family. Desperate times,
That's heartbreaking. But wait, what's the mirrors part in all this?
So there's this big antique mirror in the main house, and people say it's haunted by Chloe's ghost, like they see her reflection even when nobody's actually there.
Really? What does she look like in the mirror?
People say different things. Some see her face, just blank, no emotion. Others say she's like screaming silently.
Oh.
And then there are the ones who say the wallpaper in the reflection changes even though the real wallpaper stays the same.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Have any, paranormal investigators looked into this mirror?
Oh, for sure. Some think the mirror can trap souls, so Chloe, and maybe others who died there, can, look back into our world.
That's a terrifying thought. Maybe what we see in a mirror isn't always just us, Maybe it's a window into, another place entirely.
Sure.
And this Myrtles Plantation mirror isn't the only one with a creepy reputation, right? Even Hollywood's got a haunted mirror story, and it involves Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, the Dracula guy. Bela Lugosi's mirror. That's a wild one. Turns out he was really into the occult, and he practiced scrying.
Scrying? What's that?
Oh, sorry. It's like this divination thing. You use a reflective surface, like a mirror or a crystal ball, even just water, and you try to see visions of the future or hidden knowledge.
So you just stare into it?
Yeah, you gaze into it and try to understand the images or symbols that you see.
So picture it. Bela Lugosi, Dracula, staring into a mirror, trying to see the unknown.
It's a pretty powerful image. strange.
But this story gets darker, right?
No, definitely. After Lugosi died, this film producer, Frank Arcelletri, got the mirror. And guess what? He was found dead in his house, shot in the head, sitting right in front of the mirror.
You're kidding. Dead in front of Lugosi's mirror. That's so creepy.
Totally. They never really solved his murder. Some people think it was a mob hit, which, I mean, just adds to the mystery, right?
Yeah. So what happened to the mirror?
It ended up in a museum, one dedicated to paranormal and occult stuff.
The
Figures. Right?
Of course it did. So I'm guessing the weird stuff didn't just stop because it was in a museum.
You guessed it.
Yeah.
Visitors would say they felt sick, faint, even see scary visions, like intense emotional reactions, you know? It's like the mirror has like this energy, this presence that just messes with people. But there's another mirror, and this story is, well, it's like something out of a horror movie. It's called the D.A.R.K mirror, and the story just gets creepier and creepier. So this woman buys it at a flea market, right? And then like she becomes obsessed with it, spends hours just staring at it.
That's already like red flag territory, right? Being that obsessed with a mirror. What happened to her?
Well, her daughter got really worried because her mom was acting so strange. And then the mirror just vanished from their house.
Poof, just gone.
The mom said she'd hidden it, called it evil, but wouldn't say anything else about it.
Okay, now that's seriously creepy. Like she's so drawn to it, then she hides it and calls it evil. Something bad must have happened. So, where'd this mirror end up?
The daughter, smart woman, knew something was wrong. She gave it to a paranormal investigator, this guy, Greg Newkirk. He's been on those, like, the Unexplained type shows, and even has his own museum for paranormal stuff.
So she didn't just toss it out. She found someone who might actually understand it. What did Newkirk think of this dark mirror?
At first, he put it in his museum, but nothing really happened. People looked at it, but it was, like, totally normal. But that didn't last long.
Oh, no. What do you mean? How did things change?
He took it to a paranormal convention, right? And this woman, she was curious about the story, asked to see it. So Newkirk shows it to her, and she's looking at it for a minute. And suddenly she freaks out, starts screaming, knocks the mirror over.
Oh, God. What did she see? Was she okay?
It took her a while to calm down. When she finally did, she said she saw herself, but like as a rotting corpse.
Ugh, that's horrifying. I can't even imagine seeing something like that.
Yeah, and after that, Newkirk said the whole vibe of the mirror changed. Like, this creepy presence was there that hadn't been before. Said he felt this pull to stare at it, but he knew better.
Sounds like the mirror was getting stronger, or, I don't know, more evil. Maybe it was feeding off the fear. Did he still keep it on display?
At first, yeah, he put it back in the museum. But then more creepy stuff started happening, like visitors were seeing distorted shapes, dark things moving around inside it, even demonic figures.
This is freaking me out. Like, it was becoming a portal to something evil or something. What else did people experience?
Some saw their reflections all twisted. Others saw themselves dead. Some had, like, full-on panic attacks from what they saw. And some even felt things like an electric shock or the taste of blood in their mouths.
This isn't just creepy anymore. This is terrifying. It sounds like the mirror was getting more and more dangerous. So what did Newkirk do? Did he finally take it off display?
He did. He realized it was getting out of control. He wrapped it up in cloth, put it in a wooden box, and locked it away in a shed outside his museum. He decided it wasn't just haunted, it was something way worse.
Good call. So what did he think was going on with this dark mirror? Why was it so powerful, so scary?
He thinks the mirror isn't cursed exactly. He thinks it feeds off people. Like our fear and attention gives it power. Every time someone looks at it and gets scared, it's like charging a battery, making it stronger.
So the more we fear it, the stronger it gets. That's messed up. So is this dark mirror just going to stay locked up forever?
Newkirk said he wants to bring it out again for some events, but this time he wants to have scientists and skeptics there to see what happens and try to explain it.
Wow, that's bold. Exposing even skeptics to this thing. What's he hoping to find out?
He wants to see if they can debunk the mirror with, like, science, or if even they will get freaked out by it.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. You know, with all these stories about haunted mirrors, these like objects filled with bad energy, it's easy to forget that not all mirrors are scary.
True. People have also seen mirrors as, like, tools for self-reflection and spiritual growth, you know? Like, they represent looking inward and finding truth.
It's weird, right? On one hand, they're these objects of fear, showing us our worst nightmares. And on the other hand, they help us look at ourselves, confront who we really are. Makes you think maybe how we see mirrors, whether they're like scary or helpful, says something about us, about how we deal with the unknown.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe mirrors aren't good or evil on their own. It's like We decide what we see in them.
It's kind of like with that scrying thing, right? You're using the mirror to connect to something bigger than yourself, whether it's like your own subconscious or, I don't know, something supernatural.
Yeah, you're going beyond just the surface, looking deep inside and facing what you find.
And facing that, whether you're trying to understand yourself or the paranormal, that can be like exciting and scary at the same time. Out of all these mirror stories, what really sticks with you?
Honestly, it's the idea that a mirror could be like more than just a mirror, you know? That it could be a door to another dimension or like a channel for supernatural energy. That's both freaky and
I
fascinating.
know, right? It makes you question everything. Like maybe what we think is real and solid, maybe it's not so simple.
It's like, whoa, what else are we missing? What other everyday objects have like these hidden secrets we don't know
I
about?
know, it's mind-blowing. And that's what's so cool about these mysteries. They make you think about things in a whole new way, question what you thought you knew, and like explore the unknown.
Exactly. So, what's the takeaway here? Are we surrounded by portals and haunted stuff? Should we like cover all our mirrors just in case?
I don't know about you, but I'm not ditching all my mirrors. I think it's more about being curious about the world, realizing there might be more to it than we can see.
Right. And maybe mirrors, with all their mystery and spooky stories, they just show us that truth, that there's always more to discover.
I like that. It's not about being scared of it we don't know. It's about being open to it, embracing the mystery, and trying to understand it, not running away.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe next time you look in a mirror, you'll see something a little different.
Ooh, I like that. Something that makes you want to look closer to see what's really there.
That's what we're all about.
So, listeners, next time you're staring into a mirror, think about this. Is it really just you looking back? Or is there something else staring through?